But yeah, so yeah, in case you guys didn't know, the Granblue Fantasy Versus gameplay with Daigo and Udo was uploaded earlier today. I'm just going to give my general thoughts on some of the characters, as well as the general idea of some of the mechanics and controls that seem to be present in the game. I will say that the game, you know, visually, it looks awesome in motion in case you guys haven't seen it. It's very nice to look at. I'm sure that this is going to be a very spectator-friendly game. A lot of people will enjoy watching Granblue Fantasy Versus for sure. So, for the characters, there are 5 characters in the current build of the game that include Gran, Catalina, Charlotta, Fairy, and Lancelot. Now, Gran wasn't played in any of those matches that were uploaded earlier today, but from the description, he's supposed to be easy to control and, you know, straightforward to play. Catalina, she seems pretty Mitsuru-ish to me. She has really good normals and really good hitboxes. Some people were even talking about how in one of the matches she was able to anti-air Lancelot, even though it looked like he had done like a dive kicker, or he was already behind her, it looked like, but she was able to anti-air him. And you know, like I pretty much said, really good hitboxes there. So Charlotta, she seems like she's a speedy, agile character. She has good range, you know, good damage. And they said that she's probably going to be hard to hit because she's small. You know, so I think that could give her a nice advantage. Lancelot. Personally, he was one of the characters that I was interested in playing because his character design looks cool. He dual wields his swords. You know, he seems like he'd be interesting to play. He's an agile character with good mix-ups, but not the highest amount of damage. But still, you know, if you can get some good mix-ups in, and if you can get good confirms, that kind of makes up for not having, you know, the highest damage in the game. Now, Fairy. Fairy is another character that I thought would be really fun to play. She has some really good long range on her moves. She also has either it's a command grab or a hit grab. And she can use her creatures to pressure the opponent and to mix up the opponent. And out of all the characters that they played on those matches earlier today, I'm definitely most interested in trying Fairy out. Great character design, you know, a lot of good tools at her disposal. So really interested in seeing how she plays. Yo, Star. Yeah, man. Yeah, sorry. Like Catalina's probably going to be like really, really good with neutral. I mean, look at me too. You know, she just looks like she even, you know, has some moves really similar to Mitsuru. So I can imagine that she'd have really good neutral and be safe on a lot of her moves, maybe even some specials. Now that you say it, I don't know, maybe Fairy is kind of like Phonon. I don't know. I haven't spent time playing Phonon, but I don't know. I get some more vibes from Fairy than just, you know, that character that sits at the long range distance and uses her whip, you know. But I do see how you can make the comparison there, bro. So for the controls and the mechanics, I'm pretty sure I saw each character use at least 2 different normals, you know, like as their first attack when they're, you know, confirming into a combo or something. I'm pretty sure I saw each character throw out at least 2 different normals throughout the matches, so I'm going to assume that there's, you know, 2 attack buttons, A and B. There is a universal overhead, just like there is here in BB Tag, but there's no minigame attached to it at all, so you can combo off of it solo. And I really like that it's going to be handled this way. And honestly, you know, just like I was talking about earlier when I was playing, 5C is annoying in this game, kind of, especially in net play. Instead of it being a mini game that, you know, gives you guaranteed damage, just like what just happened on screen there, having it, you know, making it normal that you can confirm off of, I think that would have been the better way to go, personally. But anyway, that's something that's not an issue with Granblue Fantasy Versus. It's just a universal overhead. You can combo off of it, you know, with any character. I believe with any character. Now, what makes this game different, though, what makes Granblue Fantasy Versus different is the fact that there is a block button. Now, I didn't know this because I don't play MK, but people were saying that you know, they didn't like that about Mortal Kombat, and that, you know, they were worried about it, but, you know, I'm just going to clear up some of those things. You know, because even to me, at first, it wasn't clear if there was an advantage to using a dedicated block button over manually holding back and blocking, but there was an article I found that cleared that up. Apparently, if you manually block, you need to block all the mix-ups, you know, just like you normally would in any other fighting game. But if you choose to use the block button, then you automatically block mix-ups, but you lose access to other quote-unquote advanced options, which they did not go in detail what those options were. You know, but you'd have access to them if you did block manually. So some people are kind of divided on this, but the thing is, we need to see exactly what those quote-unquote advanced options are. You know, what exactly it is they lose by using that block button, because that block button sounds like, you know, a great anti-mix-up, you know, you just hit it, just hold it, oh cool, I'm gonna block all your mix-up. That does sound really good, to be honest. So for the specials, we've heard for the longest now that the specials are mapped to a single button, but you also do have the option of manually inputting them. If you do input them manually, the cooldown on that special move that you're using is less than it would have been if you're using the dedicated button. And at the end of their matches, at the end of all the matches, it was said that using the dedicated special button in specific circumstances could be an effective way to win. They didn't go into detail that much, but, you know, maybe if you think about it, it's easier to get out a special, you know, special attack if you just hit a single button, and that single button only takes like 1 frame's worth of input, whereas if you're trying to do it manually, I mean, odds are you're not going to get that input out in a single frame, most likely. You know, it's possible, but in most cases, you probably wouldn't, especially in those high-pressure situations. So I think that this is smart because, you know, they advertised how specials were going to be easy to execute. You know, touch a button, hit a button, boom, the special comes out. And I think that that definitely, you know, appeals to the casual Granblue fan. You know, they probably feel comfortable getting into the game, knowing that it's easy to just pick up and hit buttons and play like that. But it also sounds like it has a purpose at high-level competitive play. So I think that's great, because now the FGC can't consider that a wasted button. Like, kind of, for example, in BB Tag, a lot of people consider 5C a wasted button, you know, because it's a mini game, and offline, most people don't really drive the 5C offline. You might see it maybe a couple of times in a set, maybe once or so, but at high level play you don't see 5C nearly as often as you do here online. Now also, there is a roll or dodge mechanic in the game, kind of similar to like what's in Persona 4 Arena, that all of the characters have access to. And it's also mapped to a single button. I think it's a nice feature to have, especially since so far they have not mentioned a burst mechanic as far as I know. So maybe they will mention one in the future. You know, some people have already started to compare the game to Dragon Ball FighterZ because of the lack of a burst mechanic, but, you know, thing is, at the very least, we do have the dodge mechanic, which I think that's great. And also, in that game, you spend meter on your supers, which are called Skybound Arts. I believe that they require 100% meter, and if your health is low enough, you get a super Skybound Art. Now, let's see here. Looking at how they're marketing, you know, Granblue Fantasy Versus, it looks like they want the game to do well both in Japan and in the West. They had a version with subtitles and English commentary of the video put up at the same time as they uploaded the unedited video in Japanese for their debut gameplay earlier today. I'm thinking, you know, hoping that if they really want the game to do well in the West, and since they definitely have the money for it, you know, they should dub the game. The Granblue Fantasy anime has a dub. They're aiming for a simultaneous worldwide release, and I'm sure they've seen a lack. They've seen like how a lack of a dub can negatively impact a game. So I think it's likely that they'll just go all the way and make sure that that's an option in the game when it comes out. And hopefully that'll be the case. But yeah, overall, the game is looking great so far. Each of the characters in their current build, they do have their own unique playstyles. Cygames has actually said it's important for them that they, you know, prioritize that over character popularity. Some fans on the subreddit have said that there's a lot of popular characters, though, that they can pick from that represent a lot of different playstyles. And in my opinion, they definitely should focus on the balance between the two. Since it's a game for the Granblue fans, they should have their, you know, their favorite characters in the roster for sure. Now, personally, I'm not that familiar with Granblue, but there is one character that I've seen that I would love to see added to the game. The dude's name is Feather. In case you don't know who he is, let me just put a link really quick in the chat there. 1 second. One second here, because yeah, the dude is like, he comes off like he's like a brawler type character. Seems like he would be really fun to play. And also, right now in the game, they currently don't have any brawler characters as of yet. Anyway, all the characters they have in there do have unique playstyles, but they don't yet have a brawler. Okay, cool. So there's the link right there to the dude that I was talking about. So yeah, he definitely looks like he'd be the rushdown brawler in the game. And that's personally one of my favorite playstyles. I know that you guys see me here playing Kanji and Wall. You know, I feel like I like brawlers, and then after brawlers, I'm sorry, I like grapplers, and then after grapplers, I like, you know, the brawlers. You know, at least that's what I would say. And yeah, if you guys don't know, Eternal Oblivion, he has even said that he wanted, you know, this character to join the game. I think that he does have some Naoto vibes, you know, Naoto Kurogane vibes, just from his appearance. And the fans on the subreddit pretty much think that he should be the brawler rep for the game, so I think he'd definitely be a great addition. I would love it for, you know, if he did end up getting in. So hopefully he does.
Get ready.
Oh, okay, awesome, DJ. I just saw your comment there, bro. I'm guessing you already joined. I'm hoping that it's not filled up, because when I last checked, we were at like five people, I think, last time I looked up there. Yo, Star, Magisa. I do not know who that is. I'm just gonna take a quick look, just so I can see for myself. There's been like some other characters that I've seen people talk about. I've seen some people ask for Greya. Magisa. Dude, I looked at Magisa. She definitely like has like a 9 feel to her, so I totally can see why you'd want her to make it in the game. But yeah, there were some other characters too that people have been asking for. I forgot, the dude's name was like, it was like Seat or like Sate or something like that. I'm assuming it's not, I forgot how it was spelled. It was like Seat or Sate or whatever. But yeah, someone wants him to be in the game too. I am kind of curious how many characters they're going to have in there. According to the person who gave the leak, who leaked the game in the first place and said that we were getting a Granblue, you know, fighting game like months before it was even announced, he said that there would be a respectable number of characters in the roster, but of course he didn't give any numbers or anything like that. I don't know. Just in my opinion, I'm hoping / expecting that, you know, there's going to be like 16 characters in the base roster. I think that will be a good number. When I took a look at the list of characters in Granblue, there's a lot of them, dude. There's like a lot of characters, and there's no way that even with DLC that all those characters would end up in the game. Like, for sure. There's just too many. Too many. Alright, cool. Let me make sure that I take off the auto pass now, since I covered the discussion there.